All right. Excuse me. Whoa. This is the first time I'm trying to use my voice in a while, so it's a little rough. Hey, we're jumping back in with another episode of Skyrim Wanderer's Way. So, first thing we got to do is kind of figure out where we left off. And then we pick back up there. We've had a couple of other Skyrim playlists or mod lists that we've looked at in between since this last one. So we gotta wait for it to fully render itself. Music is very loud. All right, that should help us a little bit get the music down so that you guys can hear me a little bit better before we get started and jumping in. So I jumped the gun a little bit, I guess. I forgot how long it does take this to render in and basically upload all the animations, and I don't believe we're actually waiting for any of the I don't think we're waiting for anything to compile as far as the video or anything. So we're just probably just waiting on the animations to load. And we'll jump in here. And it's kind of funny. And then I figured I'd take this moment, right? And I had someone in my comments, and this was in relation to a video for Starfield of all games. And then it just made me think. And unfortunately for you guys, when I start thinking, I start talking. It usually comes out here. And again, like I said, I welcome the Discord. I welcome any conversation. I welcome the comments and things like that, because we can all have differing opinions, because that's the way it is, right? And so I'm thinking back, and I know I commented previously about the nostalgia of thinking back on games like Daggerfall and remembering the feels that we got from that game, and then how highly regarded it is today. Like, we think back on it, we think of it as a maybe a masterpiece of its time, or just at least one of those lovable games that we think back fondly of. And it's funny because we've had fan made mods made to try to recreate Daggerfall and try to redo. And it's interesting to me because the one thing I remember is in trying to play Daggerfall today, the one thing that strikes me is the emptiness of the world. And it's kind of funny because that's a contradiction to what our beliefs and what we remember of it. Because we remember traveling, just being able to get on our horse or get in our cart and just travel, and and just go, right? And this we discover a particular ruin or something like that, and then we get lost in it for hours, and then we sit back and we go, but is does that mean that the world was full and vibrant and just completely alive? Or is it that we knew the shortcomings, we accepted it, we understood, we knew what we were getting into, and when we stumbled across something like that, we were able to allow our imagination, allow ourselves to build upon what was presented to us. And the other thing is, you go into the dungeons, and then they were all cookie cutter, uh, uh, AI. Well, I'm not gonna say AI generated, but generated, uh, with set pieces that were used over and over and over again and combined in different ways. And the big thing about them was the vastness of it, not the uniqueness of each dungeon, right? It was just that they were so vast and they were so deep and there were so many levels, and there was a crossback, and then there was so you go from one area of the dungeon to another, and then you get lost. And it was easy to get lost because there were so many twists and turns to it. But all the hallways looked the same. all the all the caves and pathways, they were all the same. All the furniture was the same. Even the creatures that you fought against were the same creatures, you know? And it was the same old imps and, sometimes you'd get a rogue or someone like that and you know, were just constantly fighting against those. And so it wasn't that it was so, and that's what I'm saying. It wasn't that the world was so alive with uniqueness and, fleshed out characters. Name one character that you remember from Daggerfall. I don't remember a single character, and I don't even remember if we were even allowed to have companions and followers back that far. The thing that I remember and the most unique companion I had in Daggerfall was my horse and cart. And my cart was so important. Why? Because that's where I stored all my loot. And the most fun part about that game was sneaking in the stores, hiding, and then being able to wait until nighttime when the stores are supposed to be closed, and then looting all you could and putting it on your cart and getting out of there and not getting caught. The, nothing about, I'm trying to think what character stood out so deeply fleshed out that we remember them for days, you know? Who was our Lydia back then? Who was Aerolith back then? What characters, who was Janessa? Or, when we think of Mass Effect, right? Who was our I can't even think of her name now. The blue chick, right? You know what I'm saying? And Ashley. Who was our Ashley in those games back then, right? Or who was what's his name in Dragon Age? Or what's her name, Morrigan, or the thief girl. I can't, the oh my gosh, I can't remember her name now, but you know who I'm talking about, and and they stand out as huge characters because they were fleshed out. They were given life, and we sit and we go, okay, we reverently think of a lot of these old games, even like Gothic just came out, and I know this is sacrilege to say, but when it first came out, I played it and it was cool, but it wasn't earth shattering. It wasn't, groundbreaking to the point where it was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. But it was cool and it was fun to play. But no, I didn't remember. Maybe the one guy at the beginning that teaches you stuff, he's familiar, but I don't remember any other character from the game. It wasn't earth shattering that way for me. It wasn't until we got to Mass Effect and Dragon Age, and it was really, if you think about it, BioWare that really truly started down that path. And then Skyrim came, and you could have followers, and then you can marry people. Camila, Carlotta, Isolde, and you had marriage in the game, and then you could have, then they came up with Dawn Guard, and now you could have that. And then I think in Dawn Guard is where they added the kids patch where you can actually adopt children, and you might have been able to do that right off the bat, but then it was not until then you started to experience things like that and see things like that in the games. And so it's always kind of, to me, very disingenuous to knock a game you know, if it uses I can't think of what it's called right now for some reason, something generation. You know what I mean? When it's always been used. When they first discovered that they could use it's always been there. And then I remember Dragon Age 2. We got on them, and rightly so, because they kept using the same set pieces for all their dungeons, right? And you're like, "Oh my god, I've seen this room so many times now." And then we think back, and in truth, we wouldn't have said anything 10 years prior to that. And understandably so, we can make the argument, well, things should have improved by then. And yes, agreed. And yes, when they rush things, this is what we get. But then we also demand that they rush things. We want it now. We don't want it when it's ready. We want it now when we want it. And in sadly, the way things evolve and advance, by the time they start something and by the time it's finished, it's already outdated and it's already outplayed and is not even completed, all the way. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing. And then my argument always is have your eyes open throughout the entirety of the process and stop listening to idiots on there that tell you this is what this game is going to be like or what this game is going to have without verifiable documentation and evidence that this is in the game. And then I remember someone was saying all the whole time and through the whole makeup of Starfield, it was going to be No Man's Sky meets Skyrim. And I'm like, I didn't hear that at all come out of the developer's mouth, but I heard it all across all the pundits out there, talking heads, talking about this game and what you should expect. And it's like, why? Because I haven't seen, and in the gameplay that I did see, and I try to watch as much gameplay as possible. I'm not one of those people that try to go in blind to a game because it would just irk me to no end going into a game and not understanding a single thing about how it works. That's why the wheeler bothers me so much in this game because I don't understand how it works. And I haven't seen anything to show me how to properly work it. So it's frustrating to me. So I don't want to go into a game like that. So when I see a game that I'm going to get and spend my money on, that's the most important thing. I don't have a lot of money. I don't have money to spend on every single game that comes out there. So if I'm going to spend, especially now today, 59, 69, dollars and some in tax, I know I got to know what I'm getting. And it's got to be something that I'm going to be playing and want to play for an extended period of time and not something that I'm one and done with. And then so I watch as much gameplay as I can, and then I kind of make my own decisions and not listen to what other people say, right? I don't tell you to listen to what I say. I tell you this is my opinion, and then you're entitled to yours. The key is at no point did I see something that showed me that that Starfield was going to be a No Man's Sky with uh, mixed with Skyrim. Nothing I saw said that. So to have that expectation going in, I don't understand where it came from. And if you watched any of the gameplay they showed you, it is exactly what I saw when I got there and started playing. Now, also, I mentioned this too. I don't buy games normally that I can't mod. If I can't mod the game, I don't buy it because out of the box, most games are not what I like to play. I've yet to find a game that just came right out of the box the way I like to play it. And even my favorite games don't come that way, and I mod them. As soon as I can, I do. Starfield, I think 3 days after it came out, I was already looking up the different types of mods I could do. I found something that allowed me to create an INI file. There was a code that you can put in your Starfield prefs file to make it open a another additional INI file that you saved in the folder. And then in there, I could put in all the codes needed to change how certain mechanics in the game work, how leveling worked, how experience, how the looting worked, the distance for the interaction distances work. Every single thing that I could find that I could modify on my own in that file, I did. And when I booted up the game, it loaded and the game played the way I wanted it to play, not the way they intended. Because I got to be honest with you, today, most game development companies, they kind of suck. They really do kind of suck at the product they put out there because they gear it towards one audience and it's usually the loudest audience, but they gear it towards one audience. And then sometimes I'm not part of that. So I need to be able to mod. That's why when I go and I look through all these different mod lists that we're seeing here, and I'm sorry for the soapbox thing because we're about to be done. I'm about to jump in here. But when I look and I see the things I'm looking at in this with this mod list is there's a laundry list of my likes and dislikes for a game. Things that I'm looking for that I'm able to do, and things that I can't do that I believe I should be able to do. If we were to look at the mod list as I put it in here, there are 5 mods that I added on top of this. I think this one right here has 1,700 mods in it, maybe 15. It's in 1,000. It's 1,000 and something and some change. And there's still 5 additional mods I had to add just to make the game okay for me to play. And then, so that is where I come from. And I want people to understand that is when I'm looking at these games, I'm looking at it and I'm judging it based on what I like and what I don't like. And I'm not willing to back off the things that I just don't like. Because again, when we decide on the games we want to purchase, spend our money on, that should be the major factor. You should never want to spend your money on a game that's going to frustrate you, or a game that's going to eventually be annoying, or a game that you're just going to give up on or quit after 10 hours of gameplay. If that is the case, then you just wasted your money unless the game was only 10 hours long and your intent was to play it one time and get through to the end. That is never my intent. I like games that are replayable and that I can immerse myself in and play for hundreds of hours, not 10 or even 40. So I want games that are long lasting and the ones that I can modify and basically hone to be the experience I want. And so that's why it's so important. So important. And that's kind of what I do here, because when I watch people play games myself, I watch quite a bit of YouTube, and I watch videos in passing. A lot of times when I'm working, I'll have it on in the screen in the background, and I can look up and see what's going on. And a lot of times I look at games that I don't have or that I'm not already playing to see how someone else is playing it. And sometimes I watch games that I have to see how they're playing it, looking for tips, right? Looking for, oh, I didn't think of doing it like that. But the key is I look at it and I see what they're doing and I see what's being offered to them. And I can make a judgment that that's no, I don't like that. No, I don't like that. No, that's not for me. And then I know right off the bat, that's a game I really have to consider and really think about, because there's a lot of things I've already decided I don't like about it. And then but then the other question is, I don't like it because it's the way that person is playing it. What if I did it differently? And then you got to look, that's when you say, okay, well, let me see if there's somebody else playing this and seeing if they did it the exact same way or if they're doing it differently. And it's like, oh, yeah, I would do it like that. Okay, I can do that. I can do that. And then that's kind of what we want to do. And then kind of what we want to do here. You see me do a lot of stuff. And then some of the stuff I do is kind of stupid. And you'll be like, okay, why is he doing it like that? And that's perfectly fine. That is a perfect question to ask. Why did I do it that way when you possibly saw that it could be done some completely different way? And hopefully, when you guys are sitting here watching this, you're kind of getting an idea of the world space, what it looks like, um, what how the character interaction goes, and then unfortunately, how poor the combat can go if you're not very good at it, and some things you need to consider when you are in combat that I'm obviously missing or not considering when I'm in combat. So those are the things that I'm trying to expose here. I'm just trying to play through certain quests to see what quests are available, how we go about doing things, and I'm not trying to sell you on the game. And at no point do I ever claim that I created the list. I have not created a single list of my own, even though there are many times that I wish I would just do it myself. So then I would have that one list that is perfect for me. And then, but I do say, hey, look at what I have to deal with. Who are you? Who's Frida? I never met her before. Hey, any work you got that needs to be doing? Hey, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Sounds like a challenge. I'm in. All right, hold on one sec. Okay, I'm gonna just hold on. All right, I just wanted to make sure you can hear me. I'm gonna tell her we'll meet her at the
I'll
station.
see you there.
All right, and then kinds. I don't. Normally I would say no because I don't want to do it. This came up, so we're gonna. And it's kinds trial, so I'm not really gung ho. But I thought, hey, let's give it a try. But what I want to do is talk to Naranye real quick here.
If you want a lower price, take a look.
Yeah. All right, and then what I really want to do is look at the weight of stuff that I have. So I got iron plate armor. I've got the warhammer. I got the great iron club. One is 28. This one's 29. It's almost half the size. We'll go ahead and let that one go. We have a bone mold bow, which is 18. And this one is 12. We're gonna let that one go. I'm gonna let these guys go. I think right now we are wearing light armor. This one, I don't. Okay, you see the warmth is 54. The 54 warmth, so the warmth is the same. This one is 30. This one's 40. Okay, we can let that one go. Bone mode dagger. I don't know if I want to let it go just yet. I have a longbow that's also favorited. We can let that one go. Let that go. Iron carved handle knife. Let that go. Let that go. Okay, steel knife. Looks good. Adventure pack with bedroll. All right, so we're looking all down at the lights, the stuff that isn't all that heavy when we should really be focused up here and trying to figure out getting rid of. Let's see. A bone mold sword. This iron twisted mace, we're gonna let go. See, the steel war axe is 11. This is 9. It can go. The scimitar is 14, so I'm not getting rid of this one. I have a common club, which is 34. Holy cow. But look at the weight on it. So that's what we're rocking right now. I'm kind of feeling like I want to reduce the weight. And what's this one? All right, we decided we're going with that one, and so we'll let that one go. We have that, but we're not using it. I don't know why we're not. I think for the cold, we throw those on, but elsewise, and we're gonna let this one go. Okay, this one deals fire damage. Not gonna sell it, but I might take the enchantment off. What else do we got? We got arrows. We gotta pick. You know what? All right, and then we got this one. Which one is cooler? This one's cooler for sure. All right, and then okay, and then for now, we can let that one go right there. All right, see, we got the bandoliers. That's a mod that I added. All right, we got 3 capes here. We got 2 fur cloaks, and then a cape. And you see, so this one we can let go. These 2 are favorited. I think right now we're wearing this one though. Not. Let's see, we got this one too. But here's the one we're wearing, the fur cow. Then we got the hunter backpack, which deals 10 extra range weapons. So that means we don't need We don't need this guy, even though I think I was saving it for someone else. I'm going to get rid of define close both. And then let that one go. If we're saving one, we can save one. Okay. This one is better armor, but it's warm weather. And then I'm going to let that go. All right. And then we'll hold on for now. You can see we got all these tomes, and in truth, I'll let that one go. I'm gonna let that one go. This one we've already used, so we can let that one go, that one go, that one go. So the ones that are already red, that one can go. I can let that one go. We have a hunting permit for East March. Really? I didn't know that. Maybe we got that. No. Okay, and then we have Taval's orders. I don't know who Taval is, but we'll. Holy cow, we're carrying a lot of crap. We have 80 thread. I don't. Okay, so we have wounds in this game. So I think that's why what the thread is going to do. But we're carrying a lot of fur plates, hides. I can let one of these go. I can let both of these go. We have empty potion bottle. We have scroll casing. All right, we can let this one go and this one go. And we can let these two go. All right, I think we are good.
Your custom.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you for doing business with me. All right, so far, I think one of the things that I've really went on a little bit of a tirade on was how everybody refers to you as Orc. What are you doing here, Orc? What business you got here, Orc? And, you know, how triggering that is, because it's not even who you are, it is what you are used as a derogatory term. And it's just, so it's very triggering. So now these, as expected though, you can see it's loading animations. So, and there's quite a few animations that is loading, over 5,600 of them. That's not the most I've seen, but again, like I said, we're dealing with probably 1,500 plus mods in this game. Not all of them are animation mods, but obviously there's going to be quite a considerable number. And then I think it is cool how they try to build this out and then put the merchants along.
I'm sure you'll find it.
You know,
Let me know. I might have it stored away.
so it is cool, but I could live without. You know, it doesn't drastically change the game for me. Now, one thing that is kind of troublesome, as you can see, we don't have our typical HUD. We have our bars here. If we didn't have that cursor, I'd be really hating life right now. I believe this is working on community shaders. I'd have to double check that, so don't take me as 100% certain, but I believe it is. I think, and from what I can tell so far, what I've seen and what I've noticed is, yes, community shaders and EMB is a very polarizing subject, because some folks believe one way and then some folks believe another. And I'm of that boat. As long as it doesn't look awful, I'm going to take the way that gives me the best performance. And, you know, it's when it starts to look awful, when it all of a sudden it becomes kind of a major thing. I think this is where we're trying to go. So we're gonna assume this is where we're supposed to be. If not, we just got abducted. We just got abducted. Find and slay the great bear. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're right here. Hey.
Need something?
No. But are we riding a horse or are we walking? You're gonna have to forgive me while I set up my. Now I do like the look of this. I really actually really prefer it. It is probably. So I'm gonna favorite that. I think we're going to use the bone mode arrows. Or should we use the fire arrows? Let's start with those. This seems like something, and then we're gonna be equipping that. All right, that's favorited. That's favorited. Favorited. Okay, good. So this is favorited. You can see, so we can switch between. So we're wearing this one for the warmth, and this one is 29 warmth. What's this? The cal. The cal is 29 warmth. So we're not going to gain any extra. So it's really how it looks as opposed to how it feels. This strange amulet comes from the whole blood on the ice. Which way should we go? I just think it's weird that you're hunting a bear with a sword. What is going on with you? Now, I'm sure we could, or probably should, have taken our horses. And, oh. Can we...
Be careful. A fight.
I'm not getting... There we go. Are you serious? All right, I'm gonna... Okay, wait, hold on. It's one of those lock-on things. Oh gosh, dang.
Get him! Kill him!
Hold on. I don't want to... If I don't need to use the fire arrow to kill it. Wait a minute. Is Karu?
This should be good.
Is this the one we're trying to go after? That was... Yeah, it was. All right. Talk to Frida. I don't... Oh, dang. Poor Snowfox. Okay. About a quarter of an hour passed. So it took us 15 minutes to slay them. So we're going to grab all this. Hey, did I get 2 fire arrows? I didn't. Okay. So we'll talk to her. Hey, you.
Fine. Yes?
Well, it wasn't the size of a mammoth. Killed one, though. May I take the pelt?
You've earned the right. Your strength and honor are apparent to all.
Guess it's back to Windhelm now.
This place is worthy of some time. You go on ahead. I'll see you back there.
All right. Now, does Frida and I, build a relationship? Oh, man. That is... All right, there's nothing left. Okay. I think I got the pelt. I would like to look in here first. See what else. That was too simple. That was too easy. That could be on me, though. Okay. What is that over here? Is that a pathway up there? All right, so what I find funny is, so you see the green bar that appears up in the upper left hand corner, and then so when you see it's basically dynamic, and I think for poops and giggles, and you can see all the different mods here. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into more HUD player data, and you can see I set it to always visible. I shrink it down, yes, and then target data always visible. It shows the effects. Shrink it down, yep. Count always even visible, even when 0. And then enemy level visible, right? And then that's for more HUD. And then true HUD, that's the important one. All right, so here, display for hostiles, right? Only in combat, display for teammates, and then display for others, never. And then we can see display phantom bars. I can deselect that, right? And then you see display resources, hostiles, things like that. And then you're all of a sudden you're like, wow, this is just right. But I'm gonna reselect that. Damage counter element, so it's normal. Let me see. Here I might come in and change something like this, right? We'll see. Oh, I wanted to go to the other. All right, so the boss bar. Okay. And then player widget. Now, this is the one that we gotta truly work on. All right, so right now it's combined widget, right? And then you see this here. I noticed that when we first saw it, and I gotta be honest with you, that irritates me. They should all. Oh, that one's good. Just same direction. I don't. Yeah, I don't need for it to be going in different directions. You know what I mean? It's not like I'll be confused at all. And then it says right here, enable to display lazy bars representing recent change beneath progress bars. I'm not sure exactly where that would be, but I don't need the phantom bars. I could say dynamic, right? And then you can see it says force hide the vanilla bars. We don't, but it says right here, hide the vanilla bars. Display health, I always go to always. So it's in stamina. That's just the way I roll. And, sometimes for poops and giggles, I'll scale the bars. That means the length of the bars are dependent on how much health and how much stamina your base health, base stamina, and base magicka is. So if you have 200 health, 150 stamina, and 100 magicka, then the bars are going to be 3 different lengths. But right now, the default is that they are all the same length. And then you see where it's up at the top and it's down at the bottom now. And then when we jump, you see, right? So the question is, which one is the real one? Which one is the phantom one, right? And then how do we get rid of the second one? And I think the second set, the one down at the bottom in the middle, is not what we were looking at before. So our player widget, we told it to always show. And then what was happening was the phantom bars were being displayed. That's that one bar that showed at the top, and it was dynamic, right? And it was said hide the vanilla bars. And then if we look over here, we can see the anchor point for this is it's pretty over to the left and pretty up on the y-axis. So that tells me that that's the one at the top that's showing. And in truth, because of the one at the bottom, so what I would probably do is say, okay, let's see, try this. And then, right, the shout indicator, no, I'll leave it as dynamic right now because I'm curious as to what it looks like. Then recent loot, scale it down a little bit. And then, so you can see here the anchor point for recent loot. I'm not going to say that. You can see where it says here, 0 is the top of the screen. 1 is the bottom of the screen. So, and that's the case for the x-axis as well. 0 is the far left. 1 is all the way to the right edge of the screen. So we're telling it anchor to the right edge and in fairly a ways down, basically 85% down the screen. So it will start towards the bottom. So when we go back, you can see there's no bar at the top now. And then when we jump, we're not getting the phantom bar either that was up there because we said, well, I got it down here at the bottom middle of my screen here. I don't need it anywhere else. You can see our weight and our gold is also listed there. Me personally, if there were other bars, I'd want to see them too. To me, you can't ever have too much HUD, right? As long as it doesn't get in the way. But I want as much detail and information as I can possibly get. So I want more. And then so when we harvest this, if you keep your eyes over to the right side of the screen, down towards the bottom, that's 85% of the way down and 100% over to the right. So that's where our recent loot is anchored and shows up when we grab something. We could light an unlit campfire. And then we could actually make that smaller. We could take it to 65 if we want. So we are done here for today. We came, we saw, we conquered. Use cart. So for me, and one of the things I strongly suggest when you're when you're playing mod lists like this is to go into the MCM menu, see all the ones that are available for that you can tweak. And then when you go in here, this menu here, the ones that all have the MCM listing here, because not all the mods are going to be listed here. A lot of the visual mods that just change visuals and things like that don't really need a MCM edition here, and so you won't normally see them. Stuff that, you know, make it look more snowy, things that add different. Now, unless there's like a degree of how much you want that it should add or should look a certain way, then yeah, you can see, then it would be something here. But you can see most of this, I mean, a lot of this, like dynamic things, alternative, dynamic looting. And the dynamic looting is in animations, right? As far as if I were to toggle this back on, you'd see me bend down, pick something up. And so a lot of times you can go into the menu and start just investigating, right? Even if you don't know exactly what everything is supposed to do, based on the name, you can kind of get an idea. And then when you go in here, a lot of them will have basically a quick, what this particular button or setting will do. Most of them. I'm not going to say all, but most will. And in that way, you can decide if you want to mess with it or not mess with it. And a lot of these things, I look at immersive hunting. I come in, I look, and one of the things I really look for me is when I see realistic hunting or something like that, I need to know where the setting is for time flies. And again, this is another one. See, pray at shrines. So you got immersive interactions, and you can see loot animals, pickpocket, pet dogs. And then I could turn all of them off if I want, or simply just make sure I go around and look at, so pick up items. I might actually turn that one off, but loot NPCs, we're turning that off. Eating ingredients, I don't need to see you eat something. So after a while, it would just get annoying. And then we can turn those off. So that's another thing. Come in here. So you got immersive HUD. Usually I come in here just to make sure, okay, it has a toggle key and I know what it is, so I don't use it because I don't like immersive HUD. I really don't. And then the one thing you can do is, if you really want to, is you can control what you'll see and not see depending on what you want to see. So stamina magicka is visible, floating quest markers visible, ignored, and enchantment charge, you can set it to visible. Come on out. So compass is visible. Enchantment charge left. Let's just set it to visible. Enemy health, immersive is good. And maybe this one we'll leave it immersive just because. Shout meter, time display. And then I could say visible. All right. So we do that. And then any widgets, in case we want to see. And in truth, most of these widgets, I don't see anyone that. This one's ignored. Active effects. I'm going to set that to visible. All right. Then we're going to come back up here. And see, it's already set to start visible, right? All right. And so I'm going to come out of here. And you see right now, only thing that really changed, one is we can see the, I don't know if we could see this before, but we can see the cold meter there. But we can see the time now up in the upper right hand corner. Now I'm going to hit X. And one of the things is, I think, is it doesn't work right now. Okay, so that does work. All right, so X isn't doing anything. So that's good to know. All right, so we're gonna come in here. I'm gonna go back to immersive HUD, and maybe that key is just a bad key to have it as. All right, so this is the toggle key, right? I'm going to change it. And then, all right, it didn't change. There it is. Okay. All right. And I want to see what happens. Maybe I am toggling it and it's not toggling. But I'm hitting it and nothing changed. Okay. But we did we add the time of day to the HUD, and I don't want it there. Be honest with you. I see it now and I go, nope, I don't want it. All right. And then elements. So time display. compass is supposed to be visible, but it's not. Temperature survival is immersive. Now, the other things too, though, is this one here. We would probably want to look at where it's being placed if we don't like it there. And one of the things that I like, even though I like to see them, is I like everything combined. So I don't like everything all over the place. Let me just make sure. Okay, so we see it is toggling. See the cold comes and goes. So now immersive HUD is toggled so that things are visible. Who's this guy?
You want something?
No, not really. I do want to check. Let me see what her wheat looks like. All right, we don't want to steal.
The smell is just... Ugh.
Smell of what?
Hmm?
I think he was talking about me.
All right.
All right, we're gonna go to Kynes Grove. Oh, wrong button. This is it. The reason I'm going to Kynes Grove is it's just easier to get to the end. And I mean, no matter what, we still got to go through a load screen to get inside. Have I been here already? I thought I was. Yeah. I mean, the air is warm.
Lost?
Who is this?
Something smells foul.
Oh gosh. Let's go get a bath. We need a bath.
Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
Now, if she says she can smell us from where she's at, then yeah, we're in big trouble. You say something, you're in trouble. Okay. Where did she go? Oh, there she is.
Did you see
Hey.
my husband already? I'm sorry. He can come off a bit rough at times.
Of course.
Thank you. Oh shoot. No, they don't have bathing. What do you got
Drinks
for
for
sale?
the thirsty, food for the hungry.
Hopefully you have some soap too. Oh, look at that. Hot pheasant stew. Alright, we'll take the potato soup. Tomato soup. The gourd soup. But I don't see any soap. Alright. I want to rent a
So
room.
sorry. I'm all sold out.
Seriously?
All right, then.
She may be sold out because we stink so bad.
And what might you need?
A bath. That's what I need. A bath. Alright, we gotta go find some water. And I know just where to find it. I know, I'm not heading there yet.
Hey,
Keep walking, stranger.
Wow. Well, greetings.
Need something?
A bath? Lovely
It would
weather.
seems so.
All right. Peace. Rotten cabbage. Oh. Maybe that's what he was smelling. All right, let's search. Barrel is empty. Oh, wait, this one's not. Or we'll take the... Yeah, we're not going to take rancid. Okay. Jump down, down. And then this is the mill that we keep talking about. Oh wait. The water is very cold, and the water washes some of the dirt away. Let's look at ourselves. They washed away some of the dirt. I feel warmer but chilly. Guess what? I gotta go back in. I gotta get some of the water out. Not water, dirt. Gotta get rid of some of this dirt. More of this dirt. Nothing like freezing water to wake up the senses. All right, so we're feeling warmer, but still a little chilly. All right, over here, you see this is still stealing. But over here, it is not. So, but the problem is trying to figure out which one. Trying to figure out the hit boxes for the ones that are lootable. Alright. I wish we had like a meter that we could see that shows us how dirty we are. And how smelly we become. Alright. What I'm looking for now is a couple wolves. Alright. Go with that. Alright, let's see. Skyrim is a dangerous place. Where's everybody? Where's everything? Oh snap! Stormcloak. They're not barking at me.
The mercy of
Ooh,
Stendar
vigilant.
does not extend to Daedra worshippers.
All right, but hey, did you not notice the wolves? Where's he coming from? Oh, there's a giant. I'm not gonna start it. Giant. I'm just looking for the wolf. Don't see any wolves. There we go. Finally. Let's see. Big block. All right, come on. Anybody else? Anybody else? I'm not gonna say that we're ready for an hour. Oh, you know why it took an hour? Because we can't find the timing mod that is making it be an hour. Because if I could find it, I tell you right now, it would not have taken an hour. All right, we can. Let's check the crates. My goodness, look at that. We'll take that. We're not really stealing them with the crates. Everything else is. I'm not gonna steal their stuff. That's just how. Hey.
Huh?
I've been hunting and fishing in these parts for years.
Mm-hmm. Smells like it. Oh, I'm sorry. That was rude. What's happening down here? Oh. Ah! Good thing we're resilient. All right.
Come along, no more stops. Need to find our way to Solitude.
What
You've been going
is
to
that?
a wedding at this far-flung end of the Empire anyway.
I told you, it's the wedding of Vittorio Vici, an extremely well-connected merchant with the East Empire Company. The Emperor's cousin, remember?
Who is this?
These gifts will put us in her good graces, secure that import deal,
She's
and
not
lead
skinny.
the way to an audience with the Emperor.
Another hour passes.
Make it quick.
I don't need to make it quick. I want to go check out over here. So if you decide to, if you do an alternate start, trying to get everything. Oh, should we? Let's go. Nice, nice. Is that all of them? I think that was all of them. I'm not gonna scan any of those. last 3 hours. Just like if I come over here, this thing. We'll check the sack. We'll take that Luna. What's the book? Alright, we've already read that book. We'll search this guy. Ooh, he's got that. And then what's our weight? We'll take that. Sorry, bro. Don't mean to leave you unmentionables, but alright, we'll take the gold, the Hedra. Don't really need to take it since it's not really. Oh, we've already read that one. The barrel is empty. Let's check the knapsack. Oh, we got some potatoes, potion, and I don't know why that decided to pop up. Yeah, that's weird. Okay. Leave it to EA to be inconvenient when you don't need them the least. All right, I'm gonna take the skeever tail. I already have a lantern, belt lantern, right there. I could, right, but I don't. Time will pass. Two hours for the horse, which you will get no argument from me that possibly that's how long it would take. But my only thing is it's a damn game. You know what I mean? I don't need that much immersion. So I don't need it to take 2 hours. Hey, how you doing, sir? Excuse me. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that. Oh, snap. No, bro. We're good. We're all good. Right. Excuse me. You see there's a pony and a wolf up here. I could skin them, but it'd be morning by the time I'm done. There's a horse hide right there. Take that. Oh, snap. Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry. Didn't know you could see me right there. Let's see if we can come around this way. Yeah, orcs aren't very sneaky. They're not very sneaksy. Very sneaksy. Well, not really. But you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go for a little moonlight swim. Excuse me. This water is much warmer and not very deep, apparently. Hey, little babies. Alright, let's get out here. I want to go to this spot right here. It'll be warm, right? When I get to the deep end, I want to swim a little bit more. Come on, there we go. Hey, share. Oh God. Yeah. Your mom should have taught you better manners. As I get out of here. Nice. All right. I try to teach my son to share as much as possible. It's like, dude, you gotta share, man. It's not good to be selfish. Who's this over here? Oh, it's one of those things. All right. I think this is the way back to Kynes Grove, and we couldn't get a room, and we should be pretty exhausted by now. Oh, somebody's. Did we do that? I don't think we did. I don't remember doing it. The giants look kind of cool with the clothes on, with the actual hands. Oh goodness! Ow! Oh my goodness! We just clocked the crap out of that one. You know what? Yeah, we are gonna take some time to skin you. You deserve it. It'll be morning by the time we're done. I think. I don't know. About an hour past. Who are you? Imperial soldier?
Imperial business. Be on your way.
What'd you get? You
I'm still sore where I took that arrow. I hate archers.
I guess it's none of my business why they're standing over a Stormcloak soldier. What am I looking at? Part of me wants to go to the shack by the lake, by the river. Aren't you afraid of giants or
I've been
beasts out here?
trying. I would be. On any other farm in Skyrim. But not in Kynes Grove. The grove seems to calm the wildlife. Giants often come to visit the grove. But they have never harmed anyone. It seems all life knows to respect Kyne.
You mentioned an abandoned home.
Yeah, it's the two-story home near the wheat field. Kynesby is the name. I've been trying to sell it for years now. It's been difficult. Eskil doesn't want any more farmers settling in Kynes Grove. And it seems with the war there are more houses than there are people to live in them. Say, you wouldn't be interested in buying it, would you? It may not be much, but Kynes Grove is a beautiful place to live. I'd sell it for 2,000 septims.
I was gonna say if it's like 2,000, I think I'll actually.
Wonderful. Here is the key.
All right, thank you.
I'll take my leave then.
And then what that does is it's that building right there. And then what we can do, and then right now, this should be ours, right? Just wanna run through here again. Let's see. All right, nothing. We could scavenge the hay pile. That's dynamic things. To me, that's the only value to it. All right, so we unlocked it. All right, so we got a cooking pot. Look at this. Look at this. We got food. We got tons of food. All right, Yeah, let's yeah. And look, when I need a drink too, we can get all liquored up. We gotta look even more cabbage. We took the basket. I didn't want the basket, but hey, you know what I mean? We got carried away. We got a sweet roll. That was worth it. That was worth it. That was worth everything every bit of the money we spent. And then we got a barrel. But hey, and then we got apples, food on the table. Ooh, pine thrush egg. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. What's the other barrel? Is the other barrel accessible? Yes, it is. All right, we'll take that because we don't have to take everything right away. We got a chest, and it should be empty. But you know what that means? We can store stuff in it. Madman of the Reach. We got our own bed. We'll take that. We'll take that. We'll leave the plate, the knife. And look at that. Fine leather backpack. So we can take that. And then we have an alchemy table. And yet another sweet roll. There's a bed there. What's in the dresser? Scarf linen. There's something in the strong box. An amethyst. Yeah, we'll leave the troll skull. The Horker tusk we'll take, but here, let's see what we can do over here. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what makes Blue Mountain Flower so important. Potion of Restore Health. So you don't have enough empty bottles. We only had 3 empty bottles. God damn it. I forgot that we only had 3 potion bottles. I think that is the... Yes, there it is. Groom myself. So we could actually come in here and change things up. What I am going to do is... So you can see we have some sort of paint on us, but I don't want the war paint. And I don't know what that is, the purple. Right? Can you look forward, please? Thank you. I kind of want to... Yeah. Right there. All right. Let's come on over here. I don't know. I want to do this. Can I change my cheek color? And I can make my cheeks a little bit rosier if I want to, but right now, I think we're just going to leave that alone. Do I want to change my eye color? Ooh, I think we're going to go... Okay, you see, so we don't have very many options. So we're going to go that route. What's my shade? I think we're going to leave that. Leave the brow. Even though the brow height is good. I kind of like the mouth. It is. Then the hair. I mean, yeah, the hair is not going to mess with the hair color. We're just going to darken it just a little bit. And then the extra, gave her the Nord extra face, colors, hair color, skin tone. Okay. Then makeup. I want to see something here. And in truth, yeah, I think actually that's better. And for Asha, we will be done. Except for Asha. You take a moment to fix your hair and adjust your outfit, okay? And then we're gonna wash. Refresh ourselves. Let's wash. Come on. Get that stink, that stench that people keep complaining about. You cup your hands, splashing cool water onto your face. The grime and fatigue fade away as the droplets run down, leaving you refreshed and revitalized, cleansed and invigorated. You're ready to face the new world, or the world anew. Okay. I can't move. Can't face anything if I can't move. What's in here? Ooh, we done made some money. What's in here? Nothing much. All right, and then we could sleep if we want. Don't stand on the bed. What are you, in a barn? So there needs to be a way to craft those bottles. Okay, so first things first. Let's look at our weight, and we can store that. Store that for now. All right, boots, saddle. We'll store one of those at least. Here's the pelt of Karhu. I don't know if I'm ready to just part ways with it yet. So right now we're just storing stuff, knowing that we can eventually come back and get anything that we've stored already. Let's see if we have a stove. All right, I want to check this out and see. You have not studied. All right, don't study. I just don't. I tell you what, we're going to store that one. I'm having a hard time. Okay. And look, we have pine thrush eggs. Now, rock warbler eggs are the ones that if you mix them with Blue Mountain flower, will make a healing potion. But I can't show you that because I ran out of bottles. All right, where's the stove? Let's see what we can cook at least. Some good bass. Ooh, we can make fishy sticks. All right, a little horse punch, some more fishy sticks, and that's it. Leak. Take that. So the wood pile, if we scavenge that, you see we got one firewood. All right. Let's. What time is it? Maybe we need some rest. At least a couple hours. Then back button. Oh, it's 1 a.m. All right, so we'll sleep till 8. That's a little late in the day, but we can make do. You dream yourself walking upon a city street when a beggar's dirty hand clutched at your clothes. You felt yourself recoil, for when you looked down at the forlorn soul, you saw only a plague-ridden creature, shivering and whispering half hopeless pleas. You pulled free and stared down at a shape that seemed to more towards vermin than with with every moment. I thought it was going to say movement, and yet the extended hand remained human. Awake. All right, so we're gonna increase our health. We have how many points? Probably one. Yeah, one. And I am actually gonna throw it in the smith. I am hungry. Hungry. I decided to look at the ceiling. I don't know why. Okay. We got a ton of stuff stored away. We decided to take a nap. We are hungry. All right, we're going to have some apple pie. We're well fed. Do we have any, what's the name? Water skin. All right. You see that? The animations there. So me personally, I would move very quickly to deselect those. And unfortunately, when you have a ton of animations and a ton of things, so process, animations display, realistic skinning, Skyrim quick loot support. I don't see anything that shows time. Immersive interactions. So we disabled that. Loot animals. Interacting with puzzles. Applying poison. Eating ingredients. Read books. So basically, in the normal places we have deselected, but now immersive spell learning, an experience per hour, exhaustion per hour, and then study and animation, right? And then what we can do, improve innkeepers. I want to see what that vacancy refresh rate every 4 hours. Enable debug. All right, so that refresh rate for vacancy, if you catch it at the wrong time, it sounds like that's when you get, well, no, we don't have an opening. And we know that should never be true, but whatever. Reading is good. Shooting stars. There it is. Time flies. I hate this mod. Enable time flies. It shouldn't be enabled. Right? I didn't enable it, Crafting takes time. Expertise reduces crafting time. So I'm not worried about that. Activities, reading, trading, looting, mining, milling, eating and drinking, harvesting. Training takes time. Enable skinning, right? I'm not going to do that. So basically those, but then I'm not worried about combat, hearthfire, anniversary edition. So basic camp gear, campfire. Do you see that? So there's a lot, but really this shouldn't even matter because if I'm not mistaken, time flies is disabled. But we know that is not the case. Hearthfire. So I'm looking and then hunting and Skyrim and then wounds. It says these aren't installed, but we know somewhere down the line. So I'm going to enable and then disable. And I don't see a debug menu. So now we're going to come back down. And in truth, yeah, it shouldn't even be a thing. It should not even be a thing. And yet it is. Timing is everything. Other quests. And then this really is just delaying when the quests actually start. Right? But as it stands right now, there's nothing that I see that says time should elapse when we skin something. Stress and fear. I put it on very slow. So far, so good. I'm actually surprised that our current stress level is at 0. I'm going to take it to slow. I want to see if that does anything. Smooth cam. I haven't been annoyed by it in this particular. And then we're going to come down here, and then I'm actually going to reduce the scale, not increase. Okay, we're going to open Skyrim. And again, like I said, I haven't been annoyed by smooth cam. Usually I am annoyed by it after the period. It's like I can take but so much of it, and then I gotta be like, let's disable it. Haven't been totally annoyed by it yet. So the air is very cold. And then, you know what's funny is if you look, for a minute there, it looked like we were looking through a lens and there was water running down the lens. Oh, he needs to talk to us.
I've been looking for you.
Yeah?
Got something I'm supposed to deliver.
Okay.
Hands only.
Okay.
Let's see here. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Now, I'm going to run up here real quick. And you see right there, look at that. It looks like the rain is running down the lens of our camera.
As if Skyrim didn't have enough outsiders. Now we've got mercenaries from Hammerfell strutting about.
Interesting.
Damn faithless Imperials. Every one of them.
Hold on a second. Where's the what's it? There it is. Okay. Oh, that's because we put all our stuff away. That's why. The air is very cold up here. Well, we're ordered. We can handle it. Oh, search free. Mm-hmm.
I visited the...
Did we store anything in here? We did not. But looks like we already came in here and did some mining. Which means we probably already did our looting as well. So we'll just go straight down to it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Look at that. Maybe we didn't. Or we didn't come back and check it after adding lootable crates. Bottom one. Or maybe we just missed that one. A lot of travel packs. I will grab one. Mm-hmm. Mm. So we should have already checked those. Oh, look at this. All right, we're gonna stop. All right, and then we're gonna equip. Now, someone said to me, and I want to see if that is the case here. We're gonna equip the pickaxe. Pull it out.
I knew it!
God damn it! You see that? You see that? That pisses me off. 'Cause she wasn't even there when we started mining. And then all of a sudden now she was there, and of course, what does it do? It hits her and it causes a fight. So what that says to me, and what really the thing is stupid. So the whole idea. So again, and then this is in relation to, because I commented on this before, right? This would get so tedious after a bit. It would. So we just got ore 1 of 3. So this particular vein has 3 in it. 2 of 3. And my comment was originally, this would be just so tedious and so annoying after a while. You know, it's like, that's why sometimes that quick mining and things like that actually play out way better. And then someone said, well, you know, you could equip the axe and just strike it, like, you know, hit the ore. So we're gonna try it again. This time I'm gonna, okay, so the axe is equipped. I need to get back over here. I don't want to fight with her again. See if she...
An outsider? No reason to stop in Kinesgrove. Keep moving.
Does the name Helmer say anything to you?
Nah, I don't think so.
Alright. She's all bloodied up after we beat the crap out of her. Poor thing. Alright. We're all alone. Okay. See, right there, I can't. Stop. Alright. Bring out the weapon. Alright. So the only thing we can do is strike. So this is what they were saying to do. It's faster, right? But the chances of striking another person like we just did and starting a fight are greater now. So in some cases, I guess it will work, but it's like, do I really want to take that chance? And that is really the thing at this point. Is like, do I want to take the chance that I could start another fight? And what if there were more witnesses the next time? Someone else around that wants to join in and help her out. And then who's to say that I'm not going to step outside here and the guards be after me for striking her, and then I have a bounty on me? We don't know. She has forgiven me, but look at her. She's all battered and bloody. Which is actually kind of surprising that she did forgive us. All right, let's see what the consequences are here.
Everything's all right?
How do you feel about your post?
It's a nice enough little hamlet, but a boring posting for a guard.
All right, well, peace.
Till next time.
All right. Okay, so no repercussions here. I think we're clean right now. I don't need to stay here.
Come on,
And then
just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
I'm just looking right now. I want to see. So you saw that. Look at
I
this.
hope you'll
I
stay
am
for a
ready.
bit. We
Gonna
could
go.
certainly use the business.
I'm looking to see if they have a wash basin in here. Because how do you clean up when you go to the end?
What might you need? Fine. What?
Hey, have you met Rolf?
That swit. One day he'll regret pushing all of us around.
Okay, I thought we might be able to entice him to go beat up on Rolf some more. You know what I mean? Convince him that Rolf no longer needs to exist in this world. And then maybe a dark elf like himself should take him out. All right. Now, I said I was going to go there before. So, let's go check it out. The little cabin beside the lake.
Hey. Huh? Wolf breath. Just go away. Ooh.
I don't know if he's talking to me or if he was talking to his buddy. All right, we're gonna save. Oh snap. Hold on, hold on, hold on. All right. So, yeah. It's only a level 2 tiger, and yeah, it was way more than what we could handle. All right. So, what we're going to do is we're going to figure out a smarter way to handle it. And maybe this is where we need. Where is it? Maybe this is where these come in handy. Those arrows are over or over. Woo! Ooh. Nice. Nice. We hold on to them for special occasions. Hey, come back here. Come back here. All right, how many hours is it going to take to... Ah, see, look at that. We looted the safe. Okay. Oh, Froggy. We're having frog legs for dinner. Yeah. Did we get him and was he a casualty of the war? All right, look, he was a casualty of war, okay? We didn't intend on taking out the frog. That was not our intention. That's not what we were trying to do. Don't get it twisted. Like, yeah. The water washes some of the dirt away. Good. Oh, he escaped. Nice. Nice. Where are the wolves at? All of a sudden, the tiger goes away and the wolves come out. What do you got? We're just picking fights all over the place. That ain't gonna land anywhere. One last try. Nice. Oh, he's like, oh, what was that? A fly? Nice. Where you going? Where you going? I can't see him anymore. I think it's right there. Holy cow. Are you really hiding? He is really hiding? It's a lesser saber cat, obviously. It's hiding. What are those over there? Can I hit it from here? No way. Why is my light armor going up? Because I'm kind of engaged in combat with the cat that's hiding from me. And there's no way in Sam Heck we're going to run all the way over there and start a fight with it so that it can come kill us. without actually saving. This is not very smart. I'm just saying. And then we've lost track of the cat in the first place. I hear it. Which means it's gonna come kill us. Where is it? No! No! We have made some very serious mistakes. Get up there. Climb. He wants the pound of flesh. Actually, he wants quite a few pounds of flesh. Come here. Nice. Oh, you dirty little skunk. Damn it. I'm having trouble lining up and letting go. I think, should I go after him with my thing? I don't know if that even made sense. Shoot, I lost track. There he is. Oh my god! Ew. Ooh! Oh my goodness, the impact! The impact that it hit with was like crazy. Here, give me back my 6 arrows. It took 2 hours. See what I'm talking about? And then you saw we turned everything off. And yet, boom, still. But you know what? I'm not mad at it right now because gosh darn it, that was fun. Let's see what's down this way. 2 hours. That's ridiculous. Not saying that it wouldn't take that long. I'm just saying it's ridiculous when we turned it off.
Get me mad, and I'll prank you. Not a little, a lot.
Get me mad and I'll shoot you.
Yes?
Hey.
I'm telling you, I heard it. Howling. Those
Why is-
werewolf tales are true.
Did you know your name is Kine? You're named after...
I've got my eye on
You got your eye on me? Because I threatened to shoot your kid if he decides to be a brat? Go ahead, keep your eye on. Our tolerance level for stupidity is very low. Use lumber pot. There's already a log ready to cut. Oh. I can't move now. There we go. So there's a log ready to cut. Where's the on button? This out. Part of me wants to just jump on there and see if I get cut. Look at that. Alright, you know what I'm gonna do? Seriously? That's it? I don't know. You can't load another log right now. Did I load a log already? You can't log. I can't. Why can't I not load another? There we go. All right. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at us. We are lumber millers. Not only are we big game hunters, we are millers. Call me for Asha Big Game Hunter Miller. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that cut. Look at that cut. Yeah, boy. All right. Seriously. And then, son, you keep talking that mess, I'm going to put you down in there. See how many logs we can split you into.
Only thing I hate worse than those scaled backs are them filthy grayskins. I was one of the best soldiers in the Stormcloak army until I took a sword to the chest.
Well, you're about to take one through the mouth here to all the crap you're spewing.
Mm-hmm.
Racist.
What's your business here?
No, what's your business here?
Need something?
No. Your boots. They're kind of untied there.
You expect me to believe that?
Kind of thought you would. You're a thief. And you go around with the thief in your name, so that doesn't sound like you're very smart. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, hi, my name is Zorasha Murderer. You know what I mean? It is a cool name, but is it smart to have it as your name? Somebody sees that, and all of a sudden they're on guard. They're like, oh, you're a murderer? No, that's just my name. Yeah, but why wouldn't you change it? Just saying. Just saying. Where are we headed? I don't even know where I'm headed right now. I'm looking for that. And then I think we're going to go back down. Go ahead, bark all you want. You know, bow up all you want, buddy. I can bow up too. That's as far as we're going to go, though. Well, I think there's something here, and I don't feel like fighting today. As I say that, and then I move closer to see what's there. What is this place? I don't remember it. Okay, a burnt corpse. We sneak around the side there. I don't need to go in the front gate. No, I don't know what this place. There's somebody right there. Nope. Well, my sneak is increasing. It's terrible. All right, Morvanskar. Star. Oh, that's right. This got the AP drain for the sneak. Yeah, we got to find that. Yeah. So, yeah. One other thing that I can't stand, right? Well, John, what can you stand? Not much, obviously. So let's not sneak if we're going to get the drain. And then right now our sneak is so bad. That's what we're going to do. Oh look, they're preparing. Ow. Am I even hurting them? It's a good thing we see. So we knew what we were up against. Who are you fighting? Are you fighting anybody else? I can't be fighting anybody else. I'm the only one here. So let's see what we got. All right, I got the axe and I got the scimitar. All right. Do I have a shield? I don't think I have a shield. What's this look like? Oh, I like that. I like that. It look better. Alright. So what we're going to do is save again. And then this time we might actually just use the orc-like approach. Meaning we'll just charge head on. Wait, wrong thing. Healing. Are you serious? Are you absolutely serious there? So there was a whole collection of things that just happened there that I didn't care for. And oh goodness. Okay. All right, so we're back, and what I'm going to try to do is minimize the music here as much as possible so we can hear what I'm saying. Okay, so I was trying to say before it crashed was there was a long list of things that just basically happened prior to what we were experiencing. Basically, kind of. There was a long thing. There were several things that just happened one right after the other, and was like, okay, wait, So I mean, real quick, and then this, like I said, this can go either way, and there's arguments for and there's arguments against. Okay, so when you go into the pause menu, right, or the quick menu to select something, generally the game is written so that the game pauses, so you're not attacked and things just stop happening while you go in there and select. And the argument can be made that this is, I'm not gonna say OP, but it's cheaty, and it's not realistic or immersive or whatever what word you want to use for that. And then so a lot of people it to be want the action to keep happening even if you're in a paused menu. And me, it's like, I understand, and yes, you can consider it like an action that's happening while other things are going on around you. But in my opinion, especially in the game situation where we're just playing a game, the issue really becomes you're trying to heal or do something, and basically to prevent your character's death. And if the game doesn't pause to allow you to do it, then you're still going to be taking the damage and the attacks. And if you couple that with the delayed animation of actually pulling out the the potion, the healing potion or the healing item, and then using it, and then the delay for it to actually start working, you might as well not even do it. It just might as well not even be a thing. And then what you do is run from the fight and go hide. And so things that promote that are the things that really, the promoting of running and hiding kind of is counter to the whole point of your character being an adventurer and wanting to fight. Now, yes, sometimes you'll go in over your head like we did there. And of course, death is inevitable. But too many times I see in games that try to make it hard, the whole idea behind it is, yes, it's supposed to be hard and we're going to make it hard as possible. And it's like, well, where's the enjoy? And then some people, that's their enjoyment. I'm not one of them. I will never be one of them. And then so I don't care if people think that my wanting the menu to pause is just like easy or makes the game too easy or whatever. Okay, then you do it. You do you, I do me. So that should be something that's toggleable on and off, right? So we should be able to toggle it on and off and figure out exactly how it goes. Again, that's my opinion. And so that's one thing there. So the unpaused menu, when you go in and the game is still going, the delay in everything that you do, that incessant need to show me an animation that I don't want to see, and I keep turning off in every possible place that I can, and yet boom, it's still there in my face. And that's very triggering because it's like I go through the trouble to turn off that animation and I still see it. And it's like, so you put it there and I don't want to see it and I don't want it delaying my game. And so for me, the most triggering things you can do in the game are the things that I can't turn off myself. Because in the end, it is my game that I'm playing. We're not online playing against other people where there's a level playing field. This isn't a an MMO. So it's not any of those things. It's a single player game myself, which means I should have the final say in what is on, off, and toggleable and, just 100%. So what I'm saying is, me personally, when we start to look at the pros and cons, this is beautiful. I like a lot of things that I see here. I got to be honest with you. Some of especially the impact hits from the bow was just incredible, right? And I was like, oh my goodness, that was when we took out that saber cat and hit it right. I mean, that headshot, I felt that impact, and I was like, that's incredible, and I liked seeing that. But it was counter, or basically it was, what's the word I'm looking for? So that was one bonus right there that said yes, but then there were 3 negatives in the next fights that, even though I knew we were outmatched, there were still just 3 negatives: the on pause menu, the animation for the healing potion, and then the delay for it to actually even start working. Compound those all together, they totally outweigh the one great moment that we had there. And then again, so when you step away and you walk away from a game, that's the one thing, right? It's how do you feel at the very end? And so as I walk away now, I am annoyed and frustrated by the game. So that is, and then that, to me, that's a clear-cut sign, okay, because I tell my son this all the time. If the game is bothering you and you're annoyed and you feel frustrated, it's time to step away. Okay? And then if you keep feeling that way every time you're playing it, that's not the game for you, buddy. Games are meant for enjoyment. They're meant to make you feel good. Yes, you want challenging games. You want to be challenged. You don't want to be frustrated to the point where you're ready to throw something. You know what I mean? So there's a fine line you walk on, and then that's the key. You got to find what game or what thing you have that's going to bring about that challenge, that exhilaration, that feel of accomplishment. And yet you're not going to find yourself in that destructive, angry, triggered state. And again, I believe there is a way to have challenging combat, to have challenging gameplay without the necessity of a lot of the what I call frustrating and just, triggering additions, right? And so for me, and then I'm not a Souls game. I'm not a person that plays Souls-like games. I don't play Elden Ring. I don't play Sekiro. I don't play any of those games. To me, they're mind-numbing, stupid, and it's just. And then it's always to me, it's ironic when I hear people say, other comments, especially with Starfield, like it's just the same repetitive thing over and over again. Maybe that depends on your imagination, but games where you go and you fight, and you take a boss, and then you fight, then you take the next boss, and the only difference is how you defeat the boss. To me, that's mind-numbingly just repetitive. That's what I find repetitive and mind-numbing, and there's no build up, right? Where's the RPG elements? Where's the engagement? Where's the relationship building that you can engage with followers and people that you meet along the way? Where's Lydia in the Souls like games? Where in Sekiro, do they have a Lydia that you can engage with and get to know? Do they have and what is his name? Ashter, or I can't remember his name. Can't remember. Where's Morrigan? Right? Where are those characters that you learn and meet and romance and talk to and engage in, some of the best RPGs that I've played? Where are they in those games? And they're not. And then so I'm like, so where is the engagement? Where is the, except for, running down here, killing, and then taking on the boss and then moving on to the next area. Right? It's just, to me, that's repetitive. That's mind numbing. And it isn't fun. So we have the things that we like to do and like to see and things like that. So it's very triggering for me when people try to turn what was a good game into something over here that necessarily isn't a very good game, in my opinion. And then, like I said, it's okay to try to capture some features and things like that, but we also have to know what we're playing with. And we have to know the limitations of the engine and the game that we're trying to modify and add things to. And sometimes some of the additions work, and then sometimes they don't. So that's where I leave it here. And I think for me, this was the final video for Wanderer's Way. It's all right. And that's really how I leave it. It's all right. It's not one of my top 3 for sure. I don't think it even makes it to my top 5 for mod list for Skyrim. My top 3 mod list for Skyrim, I think Dragon Break is still my favorite. And I like because of the changes it makes to the games that tries to bring it back to the old school nature of what Elder Scrolls was. So I really like that. That's my favorite part about that game. Um, then I think Elden Gleam, I like the visual changes and the improvements, and then just how it makes it look like a next gen type game, right? And it's 15 years old, but it makes it look good. And then I think that's when we start to get into the fuzzy realm of who's in third place, right? Telsera is kind of leaning in third place, but then, Lyra is another game that I like. True North is another one. Not and they're not games, but they're mod lists that I really like some of the changes that they make to or add to the game. And for me, it seems, and then we really look at it, it's the mod list, the smaller ones, the ones that are 150 gigs and less, rather than the ones that got 3,000 mods in them and things like that. I think that just at that point, that's where we get gaudy and just too much stuff is changing, too many moving parts, and you lose some of that feel of what Skyrim was all about. So that's really where, and so that's where I'm leaning, right? So when you are looking at me and looking at the channel here and you want to know what games do we kind of gravitate towards, think about those mod lists as opposed to mod lists like Lorem and um now Mantras of Mara isn't bad. It's just there's so much and it's such a big list. And in Journals of Gigalog, same thing. It's just so much and such a huge list. And they're both around 300 gigs. That is just incredibly huge and just too much at some point, right? And that's where, so that's kind of, and it's where I kind of draw the line. Is like, well, it's good, but it's not. It's good and it's got a lot of great things, but it's unstable. It crashes a lot and there's way too many moving pieces here. So all the changes that you're trying to incorporate, some of them get lost and things. So right now, again, my favorite is Dragon Break, then Elder Gleam. And then there's a kind of a log jam where we start to put together titles, lists like True North, Telsera, Versum, um, and there's a couple others there that just slipped out of my mind there. And then an honorable mention might be Skyground Chronicles, which is more complicated and way more moving parts than I truly like, but I can give it its due. Lyra is one that gets into that log jam that I am replaying in my personal time. So not for here, but when I'm downstairs hanging with the dog or hanging with the fam, I'll put it on a laptop and I'll run and play that there. I really do like. So far I like Lyra. So that's one. Dragon Break would be another that I would play in my personal time and not really worry about film, recording. So those two stand up like that. And then, next time when I talk about with Fallout, there's mod lists there that are at the top of my list. Old New England is my favorite. And that's one that I would just play on my own. So like I said, I gravitate away from the big, huge, gaudy lists and stick with some of the smaller ones that have their subtle changes, but the additions that I like. And then again, I don't play any list that I don't add mods to myself or remove mods from. Again, I don't play a game that straight out of the box without being able to mod it. And that's just kind of how I am. Even though I play Madden on computer now because I can mod it that way. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But again, it's like, I don't know, the state of gaming today. There really is very few and very rare where a game out of the box meets all the criteria that I have when I consider what's a good game and fun for me to play. Cyberpunk is an excellent title, but I mod it, right? Mass Effect, excellent title, but if I can, I will mod it. Dragon Age, if I can mod it, I will. I won't play it just straight out of the box. And every single game is like that. If I can mod it, I will mod it and play it that way. Again, like I said about Starfield, 2-3 days after it came out, I was able to figure out how to do the mods and put them and add those in, and then boom, it was one of the best games I ever played, and still today my favorite game ever. So it's really up to you what you like and then how much you're willing to invest time wise and to learn and understand how to modify some of these games. I'm not a mod maker. I'm not an expert on modding. I learn enough so that I can actually get in here and just do it myself and rely on myself and get it done and get the game to where I like it. And that's it. That's just how it is. Okay, guys, I've on my soapbox long enough. You guys know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.